Good morning. Welcome to Amud Yomi Shiur. We are in Makkos Amud Beis. Bezos Hashem, tremendous yat d'shma every day to be able to give the Shiur in spite of everything. And Baruch Hashem, today we're going to learn about what's considered to be one edus. Like we spoke about that already in the previous Shiur. Today we'll elaborate even more. When are the edim considered as one group? When are they considered to be as two groups? Do the two edim have to be located in the same place when they see an edus? Can they be located in two different places, etc., etc.? Right? What unites them to be one edus versus two? I just want to remind everybody what we said last time in the previous Mishnah, that if you have one edus, for example, if all edim were all saying the same statement one after the other in a chain of Toich Kedei Dibur, they're considered to be one group, one kas. And then if one of them is Muzam, then the entire group is Muzam, right? However, not Muzam that they're being punished. Nobody's being punished unless everybody's Muzam. Yeah, in other words, that 99 people are Muzam and one is not Muzam, then all of them are off the hook, they're not being punished, right? Okay? On the other hand, if you have one person who's Muslim, the other ones are not, then we don't accept the edus, right? Yes and no. 1 second. 1 second, please. 1 second. So, two edim were watching a guy from one window. The other two were watching him from the other window, right? You have complete edus over here and complete edus over here. Do we consider them as two separate eduyos? There's a big nafkamina. Or are they all one big happy family, one big edus of 4 people, with all the nafkaminas we said? So now we're saying something new, that if there's echad masre ba'emtza, if there's one person who gives a hasro and he's not one of the edim, this becomes a chiddush, because usually we say the edim are the one who give the hasro. The warning, the asro comes from a third person. Echad masre ba'emtza. That person in the middle is giving the asro, and he is boom telling the murderer, "Don't do that. If you do that, Beis Din are gonna kill ya." And the person says, "I don't care. I still want to do it." Then what do we say? Are they all united or aren't they united? Says the Mishnah. Bizman shemiktzos roin elu es elu, harei elu edus achas. If even one of them. If one of them can see one of them, then they're one edus. Vimlav harelu shte eduyos. Yeah, in other words, if some of the edim, let's say one of them, this guy, can see this guy, only one of the two can see one of the two, that's enough to unite all of them, and they're all one big happy family. And according to some Rishonim and Achronim, as we may see in the Gemara, also the Hasro, if they both are aware of the Masre, they all heard the Asra, or they all saw the Masre, or the Masre saw them, the Masre can unite them to become one group also, as we're going to see later in a different case. And the Hasra, Mr. Warner, Mr. Whistleblower, Mr. one who says, "Hey, don't do that." If he saw them too, or they saw him, either or, right? That unites them all in one big edus. One big edus means what? That let's say only one of the 4 was claimed to be in Haifa, not in Beit Shemesh, when the alleged murder happened. What do we say then? We say, one is Muslim, all of them are Muslim, all of them, right? Mashenken, if we say that there are 2 separate eduyos, the Hasra was not heard by all of them. The Masra did not see them. The Master didn't see the Eidim, and they didn't see each other. They are not compartmentalized, if I said that right. They are one group, and they're a separate group, and between them there's a Berlin Wall. There's nothing connecting. Listen to the unbelievable nafkamina. If you have 2 groups of people, right? Now, those Eidim, let's say, were Muzam. By who? By other Eidim. Those Eidim are nixed. And they were Muzam by people which are not on whiteboard. They are Muzam by the good Eidim, the Meizimim. And what about these Eidim? They're not Muzam. These Eidim still maintain and say, "We're sorry. Maybe they were in Haifa and not in Beit Shemesh last Wednesday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We were in Beit Shemesh 4 o'clock in the afternoon Wednesday with 100% certainty. Nobody is now coming to deny us." So you know what's going to be the halacha? There are 2 separate eduyos. Lefikach, in nimtzas achas men zoy. If you look at both of them separately, hold tight. You know what's going to happen now? Hu vehen nerogin vashniya ptura. Wow. Listen to this. The murderer gets killed. Wow. How come? Those Adim are going to be killed because they wanted to kill the person who we always say is innocent. They wanted to kill a person. Well, they were not there. They're liars. They are, we believe, the other group, the Mezimim, that came and said, you guys, you Beryl and Shmerel, you group A, yeah, and group B. Group A, liars, schmeyers, in the fire. Group A, you were in Haifa. Okay, we kill them. But those Eidim, Group B, were not Muslim. And what are they saying? They're saying, and they've been grilled and tested, and they've been investigated very well and everything. And those Eidim, Group B, because of them, we kill the guy. Wow. So we killed both the accused guy, and we killed Eidim Zafifim. Why? Again, let me repeat. Because we separate between state and religion. We separate between A and B. If there's nothing that they never saw each other, there's a wall in between. They saw him killing from one window and then from another window. The Masra, nobody heard. They didn't see him. He didn't see them. So therefore, they're two separate groups, two separate inyanim. Was he yet killed? No. Before he was killed, he was sentenced but wasn't killed. And then they were known to be, what do you mean known? Other Eidim came, Mezimim, and said, you were with us in Haifa last Wednesday, 4 o'clock. Givaldig. Then we say, Kelem. But they are surviving. They are Pturim. They were not proven wrong in any way. And therefore we believe them and we kill him at the end of the day. Wow. That is the cool Gzerashava life of Eidim Zomimim. What? There's a lot of killing. Yes, there's even contradictory killing, but it's not really contradictory because that those people are liars. Be'etzem, we're not even saying that they're liars. We just treat them as such because they were not there. They're not believed to say that they were in B'Shemesh Wednesday 4 o'clock. Finished. It's true that he's a murderer. Beseder. That's a separate cheshbon. Yep. Enochinami. By the way, the next mission we're going to see tomorrow, Yitzchak, is the famous mission that says that a Beis Din that killed once in 70 years was considered to be a lethal killer of a Beis Din. So comparing to Iran of today, or even Texas, I think we're doing okay. Weiter. Okay, let me finish the Mishnah and then I'll hear your questions. Okay, a promise. So now, Rabbi Yossi Oimer. Rabbi Yossi is arguing on the so that Reishan says, Lo oilam ein erogin as we always knew, Rabbi Yossi is back to what we call normal. Rabbi Yossi says, no, the only time you execute a person is only if the Eidim themselves gave the Asro. Shenema al pishnaim Eidim. Yeah, al pishnaim Eidim. Which means if the Eidim are group A, are Aaron and Arya, and group B, Baruch and Berish, and the Masre is Mordechai? No, you don't kill him. The Eidim have to be the Asro. So says Rabbi Yossi, because it says Al Pi Shnaim Eidim. By them, literally, Al Pi doesn't mean by or according. Literally, if you take the word Al Pi literally, you don't know how to translate from English to Hebrew, you take it literally. Al Pi means by the mouth, by the speech. Al Pe, Pe. The mouth of the Eidim is what kills him, nothing else. If other people are Masra, you don't divide and conquer. Now that's pshat of Rabbi Yossi. Now dover acher, another pshat of Pishnaim Eidim. Pishnaim Eidim shalote Sanhedrin shomas mepia turgeman. As we learned in Sanhedrin, Beis Din cannot use a translator. Al Pishnaim Eidim means by the mouth, by the speech of the Eidim directly. The Beis Din has to listen to the Eidim directly, and if the Eidim speak Japanese only, they're very frum Jews, but they only speak Japanese. So then what? Then the Sanhedrin cannot listen to them through a very, very professional Japanese Hebrew translator, would not do the job, even if he's a very professional guy. We don't listen to that. And why? Because of Pishna made him. That's why the Sanhedrin Agdoila knew 70 languages, right? Because they had to know all the languages in order to listen to Eidos from all types of people. I want to surprise you and surprise myself, although I'm jumping the gun. Halacha is like the Rabbi Yossi. Halacha is, like Tanakama. Halacha is like Tanakama. I didn't know that. I saw the Rambam. The Rambam says not only the Eidim can do Asra, the asra can be given by all types of people, as we're going to see in the Gemara, even by a woman, even by an eved, even by a stranger, even by a ruach. We're going to discuss that. Okay, fine. We can summarize the Mishnah, but first let me hear your questions.
Isn't the Mishnah a little bit contradictory? Because
now, according to Tosfos, yeah, the Gemara is not dealing with our Mishnah, it's dealing with a separate case. Let's just now erase one person from each group. I'm so sorry to make them die. No, yeah, there's only one person. Okay, meaning each window has one person watching the show, the big violent show. Yeah, only one person from each direction. Omar v'zuta bartuvia omarav. Minayin le'edus meyuchedes. Meyuchedes doesn't mean special. Meyuchedes means separate. Each one separately without knowing of each other. Enen roin zeh et zeh. Says Rashi. One guy is watching the murder from here, the other guy from here. Murder is not my example, the example of the Gemara that we showing him, yeah? One guy, Aaron, watches the murder from here, and Baruch from over here, and that's it. No more people involved, and they do not see each other. Meyuchod means unique, separate, yeah, and not involved with the other person. Minayin leidus meyuchedes shi psula. How do you know such an edus is psula? And Mr. Murderer gets off the hook because we don't believe them. We don't hold with what they're saying. But why? There are two edim. Who cares? They don't know each other. But Lamaisa, you have two edim, so maybe it's a good edus. But the Torah says otherwise. Shenema, it says lo yumas al pi ed echod. Oh, it says in the Torah al pi shnaim edim shlosh edim yumas ames. Lo yumas al pi ed echod. A person should only be executed upon 2 or 3 edim. We already dealt with why you say 2 or 3, right? That the whole group is dealt like 2, and he should not be killed upon one person, and that is redundant, right? What do you mean when you say he should not be killed by one person? If you want to tell me that if one aid came to Beis Din, you know who this aid did? Godol Ador, Moshe Hirsch. Yeah, the biggest person, biggest tzaddik. One person comes and says, I saw him killing. You don't believe him? It's a very choshev person. No, we don't hold by one aid. It's not a matter of belief. He's disqualified for edus. And I know that already. Mireisha Shamin law. We know already right from the beginning that from the beginning of the posuk, you only execute by 2 or 3. Even I know that 1 is less than 2 or 3. So why does it have to repeat again and tell me, right? It says al pishnaim edim. So why does it have to repeat and tell me 1 and not 2? I know it's 2. Elamai echad. Here you have to punctuate very well. My echad question mark? Echad, echad. Get the answer? What does 1 mean? 1 doesn't mean 1. 1 means 1 by 1. Echad means echad, echad. Lo yumasal pi ed echad. Don't kill, don't execute Mr. M by the edus of 1 plus 1 with separation in between, without them being aware of each other. Then we don't kill that person. Very good. Tanina mihachi, a brisa that basically supports what we're saying. When the first word line, you okay? When the first word line, yeah. Echad, don't kill upon one aid. Lahavi shnaim, to include another halacha. Shnaim shoy moiso echad mechalon zeh. Vechad mechalon zeh. Ven roin zeh et zeh. Ein roin zeh et zeh. They don't see each other. Shen mitztarfin. You have 2 edim, one from one window, one from the other window. Each one is not aware, does not see the other guy. Yeah, this guy lives here, this guy over there. They didn't see each other. They just saw the case. They're not mitztaref. It's yet one more reason to be makel in din nefashos. In nefashos, we tend to be very lenient because we don't want to kill people, because it says vetzilu ha'eda. V'lo oid, not only that, ela, there is another case. Afilu bezeh achar zeh b'chalon echad en mitztarfin. That's interesting. 2 people were watching the event, let's say the murder, one after the other. Reuven said, each one is curious to see the story. Maybe there were edim halachik, they came to be do asra. Maybe another guy gave asra. One guy is watching, and then the other guy says, now it's my turn. So you get out of the window, please. Now I'm going to look. Yeah, one after the other. They're also not mitzdarif. Yeah, one says I saw him picking up the knife and it reached the heart almost. The other guy saw the second part of the story when it's mamish stabbing inside, very gory kind of story. They are not mitzaref one after the other. And the question is, what are you talking about? Omar Rav Papa Abaye. Rav Papa is asking Abaye regarding this brisa. Something in the second part of the brisa, if you think of it, doesn't work right. Hashta, now, Uma, what did the brisa tell me? One guy from one window saw the entire event from the beginning to the end. The other guy saw the entire event from beginning to end, the whole thing, right? But if they did not see each other, they're not mitzvah, but each one saw the whole thing, right? And what's the second part of the brisa? They're both standing together, aware of each other. One watched the beginning of the show, the second guy the end of the show. Rav Papa is asking Abai, Hashta, when one guy's in one window, the other guy's in the other window, the haikachazi kulu maise. One of them saw the entire maise. The haikachazi kulu maise. The other one also saw the entire maise. Right? When they're both in two separate windows, it's not. They're not divided by time. They're divided by place. Let's say the murder took 10.5 seconds. They all watched the whole movie. 10.5 seconds. Play. 10.5 seconds. They saw the whole thing. So, and yet they're not mitzdarif, even though logically, if I was Tim McKenzie, I would have said, why not, right? If not to Gzeres Kosuv, you have two Eidim, they all saw everything clearly, and they're giving you a 5-star super Eidus, and we say they're disqualified. If so, in the case where they did not see the whole thing, each one saw half the story, listen to this, the Hai Chazi, Palga Demaisa. What's Palga? Very good. Shiur, quick on the drawer. Hai Chaza, one saw half the story. Vai Chazi Palga Demaisa, the other one only saw half. Mibaya? Of course they're disqualified. They didn't see the whole thing. Of course you don't do jigsaw puzzle, or makes more sense, yeah? Maybe in a Goysha court, they probably would accept it, right? Mackenzie saw the guy about to pick up the knife and touch the heart, or almost the skin, and McKinley saw Viter the Hemshech. Mistame, the Judge MacArthur, would accept the whole thing together as a nice jigsaw puzzle. We don't accept that. Avada not. Kol cannot. If an entire picture seen without kesher between the two, we don't accept. So half a picture plus half a picture, Avada we don't accept. What's a chiddush? What did the Bryce have to tell me that? None of them saw the entire story together. Question of Papa to Abaye. Omale answers Abaye. The chiddush is, in the case of one after the other, is he saw a guy who's boil an elva, lo leinu, they saw a person, chalila, boil eshes ish, let's say, or his sister is not misa b'dei odom. He saw a guy b'kitzer boil eshes ish, let's stay with the normal case. Rashi left me alone. Who cares about boil ever? Rashi doesn't say anything. So actually, before the Ritva, I also saw the Ritva, but before the Ritva, thank you, you read my mind. But the Rabbeinu Hananel over here gives a very interesting answer. He says that Rabbeinu Hananel says like this: by Bia, there are two things that are mechayiv the boil, and they really saw very graphic things over here. They one of them saw the shikas aver. One of them saw as the aver was touching the woman's body. There's machlokes in them as touching or a little bit of penetration, which may not be called bia scientifically or otherwise. Yeah. So he saw the beginning, which is already mechayev. That alone is the reason to be mechayev a man and eshes ish. If he's ever touched, there was a little bit of an entry of the famous corona. Yeah. And the other guy saw the bia inside. Yeah, it's called the same thing. And the other guy was a Torah. It's all mentioned in the Yomi, my friend. It's called a Torah, okay? And the other guy saw Mamish Viter, the second part of it, when he went in. So Lamaisa, each one by itself, although they saw different things, but Lamaisa, each one as on his own would be enough of a reason to be Mechayev. Let's say there were two people, Aaron and Arya, who saw the Neshikas Aver, the Knisas Satorah and the Neshikas Satorah, just a little bit, there'll be a reason to be Mechayev. Let's say Baruch and Barry only saw the second part when the guy is mamish inside, Aran and Aran. Then the Baruch and Barry would also be mechayim, right? So although it's not such a shattered picture, because each one saw an entire reason to be mechayim. In the case of murder, what I told you was a smoke screen. Because if I see someone, the killing really takes half a second. And the guy's actually dead. There are no two things, just it. The second the knife actually goes into the heart, boom, then he's dead. There are no two parts of it. You can pick up a knife and get very close to his heart. The second of juch into the heart of whatever the bullet, I don't know whatever that is 1 second. You can divide it, halachically at least. The chiddush is even beer that can be divided to two different maisim. Each maisim by itself has reason to be mechayev. And Aaron saw an entire reason to be mechayev misa, and Baruch saw an entire reason to be mechayev misa. Even so, each one saw a reason to be mechayev. In Lomdus, he saw an entire thing. It's half a maisa, but it's an entire halachic maisa. Each jigsaw puzzle was of itself his reason to be mechayev. That's a chiddush. And therefore, very nice. Therefore, we still say, although there will be very logical to be mechayev, even in Beis Din, not just by McKinley and McKenzie, nevertheless, gzeros hakosuv. Al pi shnayim edim v'lo al pi ed echad, which means the two edim have to see the entire thing, right? They all have to see the entire thing, and both have to see it together, at least with being aware of the existence of being able to see each other. Only then they're mechayev. Yes, I'm with you. Baruch.
Why don't we say that
Weiter. Omarove. Now, again, we are talking, don't get confused, says Toysus all the time. This is not the case of the Mishnah. The Mishnah had 2 and 2. We're now talking about 1 and 1, okay? We're talking about 1 and 1 now. Says Omarove. Imoy roines amasre, oya masre roya oison mitztarfin. That is now something else. I alluded to that before. There are only 2 people. 1 and 1, okay. Aaron over here and Baruch over there. They do not see each other. They may not even know each other or of each other. They definitely don't see each other. Each one is watching the big show of the year, of the century, of the guy killing his friend. Lo aleinu. They're not stop doing it. They're giving maybe a straw. Oh no, they're not giving a straw. There's a third person who gives a straw, and they both see him. They don't see each other. The windows are located maybe with a wall in between, but they can somehow see. Yeah, they have a common field of vision vis-a-vis. They can both see the masra, and they see 2 things. They see the masra and the murderer standing together. The masra says, da da da, naughty boy. If you do that, Beis Din will slash your head, guillotine. You want to be like Marie Antoinette, number 2. Oy, oy, oy. Right? And what? And he says, I don't care. Then what? Then they saw the masra, the warner, the whistleblower, and they saw the murderer together. Then they are mitztaref. Oy hamasre roya oysan. Listen to this. They don't see the masre, but the masre sees them. That's interesting. The masre, the warner, the whistleblower, the one who's warning, he saw the murder, obviously, and he also saw them together. He's the one who unites them with his look. He sees both of them together. Then they're mitztaref. And then you kill a guy, then the murderer gets killed. Interesting. Frek the Rishonim, such as the Ritvo, I did see the Ritvo, yeah. The Ritvo asks, well, how do you know? In other words, one guy, his name is Mr. Masre, Mordechai the Masre, right? He says, well, I saw both Eidim, but they didn't say that they don't know, right? We only know that they're united by the Eidus of one guy, the Masre. The Rishonim ask, how do you believe one guy? At the end of the day, if what holds everything together, if the uniting factor is one guy called Mordechai could be Mordechai Tzaddik. He says, yeah, I saw Mr. Murderer killing his friend. I saw Moshe the murderer killing his good friend. And I saw Aaron and Barish. I saw them all. I saw it all. Thank you. And they also say, yeah, we both saw the murderer. But what unites them? Him. Who? The guy, one guy. You can't kill upon one guy at the end of the day. He's not made in the murder, but he's made that he saw both Eidim. So their Eidus is only united. We stand as one Eidus because of his talk. Since when do we believe one guy? It's unbelievable. We have more and more actors here in the play. Says the Ritvo and other Rishonim, yeah, there are other 2 Eidim who saw the master seeing them. The other Eidim, Kalman and Kadosh, they saw the Masre seeing both. They watched his eyes very carefully, and they could see that he sees them both. He saw them both right away in front of him. They're made that he saw them both. So the Eidim were made that the Masre saw Aaron and Baruch, A and B, Mimel Aaron and Baruch, and they saw the murder. Aaron and Baruch are united through the Masra. And how do you know the Masra saw both of them? Through other two. Wow. A lot of people in the game over here. But Bekitzer, if you don't get confused, you just have to remember either the Masra saw them or they saw the Masra. The Masra is uniting them all to one unit of two Adim who are united. Two Adim are united. United we stand, like America. And then the two Adim saw the murderer. That's for sure they did. That's not a question. Two Adim who are united by something, such as a saw. They saw the murder. The murder goes to be executed. Obviously, if everything else works right, and we manage to really find out that he's guilty. Now comes Rove, the Omar Rove, Mitztafin.
Those two agents haven't seen the guy gave the warning.
Which two, Edim Kaddish and Kalman? KK?
Those two weren't there. They weren't there.
Then no, then the Masa. No, then the Masa is not uniting them. But if they wouldn't be chayiv. But if the Adim saw the Masra, then there's no problem. Then you don't need them. Let's say the Adim said, I'm Aaron. Hi, I'm Aaron. Hi, I'm Baruch. Very nice. Nice to meet you. And what? And now they say, we saw Moshe killing, and we both saw Mordechai warning him. Then it's okay. Then we don't need extra Adim. Because the two Adim are united by, they saw together Mordechai the Masra. They saw Moshe, the cutie, no, not so cute anymore, murdering his friend. Then they saw everything together. They're united in everything. And then we're going to execute Moshe. Omar, V'omar Rove. Now comes Rove. And with that, we, again, okay, V'omar Rove. Masra shomru, afilu mipi atzmoi, v'afilu mipi ashade. Wow, 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 wow. Says Rove. And that seems to be supporting the opinion of the Reisha in the Mishnah. Yeah, Hasra does not have to be done by who? Doesn't have to be done dafka by the Eidim. Hasra can be even mipi atzmoi, vafilu mipi ashade. What's atzmoi? Depends who you ask. Says Rashi, the Horug gave the Hasra. Misken. The guy who's about to be murdered is trying to save his life. He's trying to talk to the conscience of what? Of the killer. And he says, they don't kill me, because if you kill me, they're going to kill you. They're going to behead you. So, well, he says, ha, 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 who cares? I still want to kill you. Yeah, because you're not a nice guy. And then even if, and who, how do you know he told him that? They ate him. Both Aaron and Baruch, they saw it happening. They saw the Masre. You know who's the Masre? The murdered guy. Yeah, the killed guy, before he died, he gave a saw, and they saw it, and they made on that. Right? He doesn't have to be in Beis Din. He himself is in Shamayim. He's in Gan Eden, I guess. Yeah? And then what? We said that's also called a straw. Even a woman, and even in every thing the Rambam says, what's shed is shed. He heard a voice, he heard some kind of demon talking. Yeah. Then what we say in the Chanami, it's considered to be a straw. Now listen to the Rambam. The Rambam, as we know, was a very, very, very Litvish person, even though he was from Spain. Yeah, the Rambam doesn't go so much into shadim, but the Rambam basically gives a different interpretation to both Atzma and Shade. Says the Rambam, you know, Atzma. Some of the Meforshim on the Rambam learn it differently. I'm giving my own interpretation based on the Rambam and some of the Meforshim. The guy himself, the murderer, the killer, warned himself. He says, I'm aware of the fact that I'm going to die, but I'm Moisel Nefesh. You know, this guy, you have to kill him. He's voting for the wrong party. So he's Chayiv Misa, right? He's not wearing my type of thing. Yeah, he's not my friend. What? That's by Beis Din. That's in Beis Din. Very nice. One, he warned himself. He says, oy, I'm aware I will be, soon I'm giving another answer soon. I'm aware I'll be dead in Beis Din. I'm dead man walking. I will get killed for that, but I still do it. Or the Mesilas Nefesh. Yeah? And therefore, that is Atzmoi. He warned himself, and all that was watched by Arele and Burich. So now they are made what shade? Well, the Rambam doesn't say shade. It's not so much the Rambam's shade and color, but the Rambam says he heard a voice. Let's say he heard a voice, could be from a human being. He heard someone, he saw he's about to murder. He hears a voice of some guy behind a tree. He heard a voice from someone. He did not see the Masre, the murderer. He heard a saw. If you do that, you're going to get killed. Oh, boom. And he still killed him. He says, Afal Pichen, he's Chayiv Misa. And it's considered, yes, to be a straw. That's halacha. Okay? Amar Nachman, we're going to see. By the way, I'll tell you Tzvi already now. Tzvi is asking that I'm garnishing your question a little bit. In Beis Din, we say no domesimat morosho. When a person gives testimony, just like I cannot give testimony on myself that everybody owes me $1 million. No, where is it? You can't. You're subjective, right? You're nagabadovo. You can't give edus to yourself. Even self-incrimination is osur. Yes, an edrin test yud. Now that's in Beis Din. That's in Beis Din. Hasra is a technical idea. Asra is not exeris akosuv. Asra is just a way to know that the person know what he was doing. That's all. Asra means a person may have not known how chomer it is. It's a very even logical secular idea. The person can get off the hook by saying, "I didn't know." But if the Eidim say you got warned, then means you did know. If the guy himself said, and the Eidim are made, we heard him saying, I know that a Rotzeach gets, oh, excuse my graphics, yeah, Rotzeach, I'm sorry, Rotzeach gets, beheaded, and I'm very well aware of that. How can he get off the hook, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's not Mr. Solution based in. We just technically know that before the murder, he knew what he was doing. He was aware of the consequences. That's all. But the Edim are saying, and not he himself, and the Chanami. The Edim have to say to Beis Din. If he just said it, he cannot self-incriminate himself. If a guy comes crying and screaming to Beis Din, "Oh, I killed someone," we don't listen to him. I mean, not till the end. We investigate, but we don't kill him upon that. Weiter. We'll see more on that. Amar of Nachman. Edus meyuchedes, tremendous, miraculous, yata dishmaya, that can give shiur today, Baruch Hashem. Amar Nachman. Edus meyuchedes, ksher b'dinei momenas, mazel tov. Let's stop talking about murder, okay? Let's talk about a guy who owes you, what, 10,000 shekels. Yeah, he bought a motorcycle. He didn't pay for your motorcycle yet. You aware of that? So he owes you 15,000 shekels, and you say he didn't pay. He says he did pay. Such a liar. He says he paid you 15,000 motorcycle. Then he says you didn't. You come to Beis Din. Okay, no murder. You don't kill your friend over 15,000 shekels. I hope. Maminas. And now there are two Eidim, and they saw him paying. They saw him paying, and you're saying thank you very much for paying me, right? And they saw it. They saw the payment happening, and they saw the whole mice of the motorcycle and the payment. But you know how they saw it? Aaron was in one window and Barry was in another window without seeing each other. No, is that a good edus? Yes. In Ratzicha, in Din Nefoshes, no. But B'Momenas, yes. Why? Dichtiv leyumas al pi eid echod. It says you should not die al pi eid echod. You see a guy murdering. You see a guy shasish. You see a guy doing kishuf. You see a guy doing smoking on Shabbos. You see a guy doing over the Zara. All these cases, you kill him. You don't kill him al pi eid echod, which is meyuchod. Lo yumas. B'dinei nefoshes tu dein kshera. Aval b'dinei momenas kshera. When it comes to dinei momenas, nobody's killing anybody. We're just talking about 15,000 shekels or $50 million. It's still not human life. And as we all know, the dinei momenas, dinei nefoshes are always, not always, are different in many ways. But in the momenas, if Aaron saw one window and Barry saw another window, but they both say exactly the same, they seem to be seeing exactly the same thing. They watch it from different points of view. That edus is a good edus. Why? Because that's what the Torah says. Also makes sense because by din nefoshes we always want to get the guy off the hook. By moments we don't. Now, maski for Rav Zutra. I'm beating myself on the chest now because I forgot what the Ritva says here. So just explain this according to Rashi. Maski for Rav Zutra. Rav Zutra is now attacking what we just said, and he says like this: Elamata. If you're telling me that edus of one guy, boom, plus another guy, two different windows, two different places, unaware of each other. Oh, sometimes it's a good edus. Sometimes it's a good edus. We connect them, even though they're not connected. When it comes to money, big money, $50 million, they're connected. If so, elamata, according to this logic, according to this statement, b'dinei nefoshes tatzil, we should also be able to connect the two groups of the two edim in the Mishnah and save all of them. I'm going to explain soon. Alamatnan, why do we say in the Mishnah, Hu vehen neherogim? Kasha. Let me explain the question. Says Rashi, and I have to see the Ritva and say, come back with you with tomorrow. Says Rashi as follows. We always know, what did we say in the Mishnah? Slowly. Yeah? Says Rashi like this. Remember the very strange case in the Mishnah, which you said there's a lot of killing? One group, there were two people. Let's get these guys off. I'm sorry for my hand. They're not connected anymore. You have two Eidim. Aaron and Arya, and they saw it happening. Baruch and Barry saw it happening, each one separately. Each one separately, they have no connection to each other. That's bad news. For A and A, Aaron and Arya, they were muzam. They were muzam, right? Why? Both of them were in Haifa last Wednesday, 4 o'clock. Now they're wrong. Although he gets killed. Why does he get killed? I thought they were liars. Ha ha ha. Because we make this clear dichotomy between A and B. And Baruch and Barry, they did see him. They survive 5 star with flying colors. Nobody beats them. Nobody's amazing them. They were in Osher Ad last Wednesday, 4 o'clock, and they saw him killing his friend. And therefore, they are made against him, and they continue to talk loud and clear. And therefore, he gets killed, and they also get killed, A and A, because they were Muzam. Fact the Gemara, wait a second. If I know that when it comes to the Nefoshes, we always try to, as we say in Hebrew, to dig under the ground. We always try to somehow let the accused survive, right? We're very, very liberal here against execution, right? So wait a second, says the Gemara. If I know that in Dinei Mominus, A and B are connected, even though there is no hasra that connects them, no field of vision that connects them, nothing, but they're connected, why can't we import the idea of connecting between the two groups now? And listen to this. Let's try and see and say that group A and group B shall be connected at least lekula. Although we don't connect them stamazoi, but let's connect A and B and connect them together. Then what's going to happen? They're all one group. You tell me, guys, if you have one group of four, the group of four come together to Beis Din, they saw together and they're made together, all at wall for one and one for four. Yeah, for four. Yeah. And if two of them were Muslim and two are not Muslim, do you kill anybody? No. Quick, very good. Save their lives. Why don't you save the lives of A and A by connecting them to B and say, let's look at them all together as one le'inyan kula. Let's not look at them together for everything, but since we always tend to be ki'ilu in an unfair way, ki'ilu always lekula, and in Maimonides we found already the concept that we connect A and B without them being connected. They didn't see each other, they don't know each other, there was no common asro. There's no asro by money, by the way, in B'chlal. Yeah, A and B are not connected, and we are connecting them from Maimonides. Let's connect them for nefashos lekula and let them survive A and A by connecting them to be or kosher. And if some are kosher and some are muzam, then we say there none of them gets killed, and also he will survive. That'll be so nice. Maybe. I mean, l'chora, you can. Then I'm not sure Rashi would say it's a nidon. Yeah, Rashi is a nidon also. Yes, and the nidon also should survive. Why? The nidon will survive because half the people are muzam, and they survive because half the people are not muzam. It's all one group. Right? So maybe do that. Try and get the concept of Tzila Eda. That's a question of the Gemara, and the Gemara stays with the Kasha. The Gemara says, it's Agita Kasha, but that far we don't go Lukula. The Ritva has a very, very good explanation. Sadly, I don't remember it right now. I want to come back with that tomorrow. And I think I want to say something or no? Yeah, good. Are we happy to continue? Yes. I was hoping. Yeah. Yeah, true. Rabbi Yossi Omer, what did Rabbi Yossi say at the end of the Mishnah? That Asra has to be done by the Eidim and Eidim only. So the Gemara, again, our Pop is asking about for the second time, at least in this Amud. Rabbi Yossi really think that Asra is such a stiff, such a strict thing. There always has to be a straw by the Eidim. Why? I'll prove you otherwise. Vatnan. The Mishnah says later on, we're going to see soon, I think on Tuesday, we're going to start learning the second parak of this Masechta, and that parak has to do with Rotzech B'Shoigeg. Yeah, the murder by mistake. And Rabbi Yossi says if a person is known to be a soine, the Torah says, let's say a person is known to be somebody who hates the victim. He didn't speak to him for 3 days. He gave him silence treatment, not because he didn't meet him in the street. He saw him very well and just didn't talk to him. He's called a soine. He has a different label of a guy who hates. He's a hater of the guy. He's an enemy. And then we suspect him much, much more. Says Rabbi Yossi, if the guy is a soine, then you kill him, you execute him. We're not going out to all the details. Although it seems as if it happened by accident, it was a staged accident because we know he hates him. We're much more choishesh. According to Biasi, even to the point that he's like a muad, it's as if he did it on purpose, a musre. Although there was no asra, he goes, "Oh, what a mistake! I'm so sorry. I dropped the X on his head. Oh, yo, 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 yo! I'm so sad." Right? Because we assume that he has a zach against him already, it's considered as if he got asra. What do you mean as if? There's not as if. According to Rabbi Yossi, asra is not a technical thing. It's a thing that has to be done a statement by two eidim, right? So how can you say all of a sudden over there, it's as if he got asra? There's no as if. Can I eat air on Leila Seder and say as if it's a matzah? Maybe if you reform. Yeah. There's no as if. You really hold it has to be a very strict thing that by Edim only. Answers the Gemara in the Chinami, there are two Rabbi Yosis, boom, and then there were two. Omar Lei, Rabbi answers, Zahu Rabbi Yosi Bar Yehudahi. There's Rabbi Yosi and there's Rabbi Yosi Bar Yehuda, two different Tanaim, with two different opinions. They argue on each other. The Tanya, it says in Sanhedrin, Rabbi Yosi Bar Yehuda Omer, Chaver ein tzorich asro. This is what I kept telling you all the time, and that is a chaver, a talmid chacham. Let's say there's a guy who knows, woo, he knows Sanhedrin, he knows Choshen Mishpat, he knows everything, he knows Yeridea. Don't worry about him. He knows his stuff. He knows very well that if a guy murders someone, he's going to get what? He's going to get the saif. You don't have to tell him that. He knows that since he was a kid in Bnei Brak at the age of 5. He knows it all very well. He can teach it to you. Such a guy says, Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda does not eat the swa. Wait. How does that fit into our Rabbi Yossi? It doesn't. Very good. Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda says that as far as a technical thing, listen to the words. Lo nisna asra lehavchin min shogeg lemezid. As far as a technical thing, as I told you, Tzvi, it's just a way to know that the guy is not mistaken. He's really mazid. He does it on purpose. That's what asra is all about. It's not a din like eating matzah. It's a din like a technical idea. It's like preparing the the tablecloth on the seder. It's a technical zach. Mimela, in the case of the soine, the guy who hates him, which we'll go into the details on Tuesday, Wednesday, the guy who hates him, we assume is like a straw because we assume that he planned it in advance. It's like a straw. B'shenkin Rabbi Yossi in our Mishnah argues on Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi Bar Mishnah says, no, no, no. A straw is not just a technical way of us to know what's going on. There's a din. There's a procedure which you cannot skip. You have to have a straw by the Eidim, at least one of them. Now, the Rambam paskins, not like Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda, but like Rabbi Yossi. Rambam says that the Talmid Chacham also needs a straw. Why? Maybe he forgot. Maybe he forgot at the heat of the moment. Maybe he's not aware of what he's doing. Exactly. A Talmid Chacham picks up a knife, wants to kill someone. So you have to tell him, I know you know your stuff, but are you aware of it right now? Right? And therefore, Lemaise with Paskin, that the Talmid Chacham does, we're playing both games. He does need a straw, but he does have to be a straw from the aid. Yeah, he needs a straw. He needs a straw on one hand, but a straw can be from a woman. A straw can be from one person. A straw can be from a shade from behind the wall somewhere. Yeah, that's good enough. But there has to be a straw. Even for Talmid Chacham, you have to know that right now he has his wits about him and he's aware of what he's doing right now. We all live like that. We know a lot of things. Unfortunately, we don't always act upon them, right? If we always acted upon what we feel like on Yom Kippur, we'd be better people. But unfortunately, yeah, Yitzhara is too strong. Beseder, weiter. Yeah. Continues the Gemara. Yeah, we don't have. Okay. Davar Acher, the last part of the Mishnah is quoted now. Alpishna Medim Shalote Sanedrin Shomas Mipi Haturgeman. Beis Din are not allowed to listen to Eidus through a turgeman, through a translator. I remember when the Demyanuk, you remember him, the Nazi Ukrainian, that he was judged and tried in Israel. So the no, Demyanuk, Achman was before my time. Demyanuk. So the translator was very, very verbose, and he spoke for a long time. They said he did it on purpose. He wanted to, addle the brains of the judges. Sometimes translators can change a little bit, and they can, play around with things, and I know it from my wife's profession. I mean, she's doing her job right. Every translation is never, exactly accurate to the source. It gets lost in translation. So I'm not trying to give svars for the Torah, but the Torah says the edus has to be direct, no translation. You have to hear the exact makor, the source. Okay, story time. Hanu le'uzi. Now, these le'uzi, there were people who did not speak the language of Beis Din. And now, le'uzi, according to Rashi, he says, Balalosh Nacheres, le'uzi were either the Eidim or the Balei Dinim. It makes more sense to talk about the Eidim, but apparently there are those who say the Balei Dinim. Bekitzer, let's stick to Eidim because that fits our Mishnah better. There are two Eidim who came, the also Lakamei de Rove, right? There were the Eidim who came in front of Rove, and Uki Rove Turgaman Beinayu. Did you hear that? Shall I translate that? Rove Uki, Rove placed the Turgaman between them and listen to the Eidus. Hey, what? What are you talking about? You hear? Rove spoke Lashon HaKodesh, I'm sure, or Aramaic, maybe other languages. These people came from, I don't know, from South Africa, and they spoke Indibali. Indibali, they spoke Indibali. Rove didn't speak Indibali, right? It's a language. Yeah, and so there was a translator. How can Rove do that? Vatnan, it says in the Mishnah, I'm repeating it for you, Baruch. Yeah, what's the story? Rove is listening to Eidim who speak foreign language. He does not speak the language, and he has translators to translate from foreign language, from Kosa, from Indibali, to what? To Aramaic, to Hebrew. What's going on? And says the Gemara, listen to this. Rove made the Havayoda Madavu Amri. As it happens by many, many people, right? He knew what they were saying very well. He did not know how to respond in the same language. As it happens in many languages, people say, I understand Hebrew / English / French / Chinese, but I cannot speak it, right? I see a lot of olim, that's more or less the situation. I mean, the fresh ones off the boat, right? You understand much more than you can actually express yourself. So Rav understood very well what they were saying. So we're good. We're good. He understood very well, with no need for translation. He needed to respond to them, and that's a chiddush. They don't have to listen to the original. Yeah, they, the Eidim or the Baladinim, they can hear from the translator what Rav is saying. Ad kedekach, it's not bi-directional; it's only one-directional. Another story here, another halacha story. There's a big question on showing why is the following story connected to our sugya. There's a lot of nidonim here. Let's just leave it at that. Ilah Vituvia. There were two people, Ilah Vituvia, two nice Jewish guys from Babylonia from many years ago. Ilah Vituvia, Krive de Arva Havu, not Hava, but Havu. They're related to the guarantor. There were Edim and Alvo. They're made two windows, one window, window 95, window XP. They were two Edim who were made on whom? That there was a loan taking place, and they were related to the Orev, not to the Malve, not to the Loive. They're related to the guarantor, that in case the Loive does not pay, you knock on the door of the guarantor and say, please, mister, you step ahead. Sover of Popele Meimar, Rav Papa wanted to say, Legabi Loivu Malve Rechikininu. They are, we all know that relatives cannot be made. Yeah, you need a good Eidus for Alvo. Yeah, let's say if Reuven gives Alvo to Shimon, the Eidim cannot be related to neither Reuven, not to Shimon. There are Kroivim. Kroivim can be made. But these are Eidim. They're not related to Reuven or to Shimon. They check the family tree, 2 generations. It's enough. 2, 3, whatever. And what happens next? They're related to the Orev, to the guarantor. So Rabbi wanted to say, okay, that's good enough. We don't care that far ahead. We don't have to think. Uh-oh. No. What's going to happen if the loive doesn't have money? What do you think is going to happen? He's going to go jump on the roof, go jump to the sky. The malve will right away say, I don't have for you, loive. I'm not going to go after you. I'm going to go right away to the orev. And therefore, the orev is close enough to the story. The orev is involved enough. He's a bench player. Yeah, once he is off the stage, he's going to come up. And therefore, the Orev is close enough to the story, and the Eidim of the Orev cannot really be made. Look at Tosfos, at least one Tosfos we should see today. The first Tosfos is in Zayin Amud Aleph. Mikan deyesh lizor be'edim omoin, shlo yikrovim lo leloive, v'lo lemalve, it says, v'lo leorev. So when next time you borrow money, I hope you don't have to, or you lend money, I hope you're able to, you borrow land, make sure, and there's an Oav involved, make sure that the two Eidim, preferably two Eidim, also for moments, it's much more, it's much preferable. Two Eidim should be not connected, mishpocha wise, neither to the Malve, Loive, or the Oav. Very nice. This is now, so tomorrow, Daf Zayin Amud Aleph is the last but not least Amud of the Perek. We're starting the Perek today. So from somewhere beginning of Elul, I'll probably be in yeshiva the whole day. And I found really sorry to do this. I love you guys. I love the group very much. But it was suggested to be in yeshiva all day long. Shifti beveis Hashem kol yemei chayai. So I guess there will be a change. I did get another person, a very good guy, to take over. I also give share in the evenings. If you feel like coming here, 9:20 at night, I'll still be doing that. I'm not there day and night, just day and afternoon. So I'm doing this with a very heavy heart in one way because I really like this group. But that seems to be most, I'm saying 99%. If everything goes well, that will be the story. Mashiach will come before, by the way. So, but that seems to be the mice. Again, nothing, you never know, but that seems to be the trajectory of my life right now. So we'll see. Just preparing you for that, and Be'ezus Hashem, more details will come. I'm dafka postponing yeshiva in order to finish the Masechta, so you should know that I do care about you. In other words, they wanted me to start beginning of Elul. I told them I'll probably be starting about 1/3 into Elul, because I made a cheshbon. If you do an Amud a day, then we'll still have a few days in Elul of Amud of Makkos. So I'll first finish Makkos with my beloved group, and then go for your younger American counterparts who are 19, 20 years old. They have more hair. Yeah, they have more energy and more many things. Atzlocha, v'rocha. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Atzlocha, shtoyach.